morning, my name is and I'm a journalist specialized in the Middle East.
Good morning, my name is Laura Iniguez and I'm a specialist in human rights.
Good morning, my name is Alejandra Alvarez and I'm a historian of Oxford University.
Okay, so now we will begin the panel to discuss the situation in Afghanistan going from 1980 to the present.
This conflict began in December of 1979 with the Soviet Army invades and prompts up the communist government.
Okay, since then, the Babrak Karman, the ruler of this intervention, installed as the Soviet troops in the country that we are talking about. And after this, the opposition intensifies because of the previous fighting between the Soviet and Pakistan, USA, China, Saudi Arabia, and the money that is in all this stuff.
It is important to note that this conflict started way before, because before the Soviet Union got involved, there was an Afghan civil war happening because the government that was implemented was a very corrupt government and the people didn't want it. And so people started rebelling, and this is why the Soviet Union decided to come in, because the government that was in place was communist. And the Soviet Union wanted to keep that government in place.
I don't think that the intervention of the USA is like properly in this conflict, because I think that this conflict begins when the USA want to keep away the USSR from the conflict, and even this conflict was more communist than capitalist.
Yes, but this the rebellion of the people generated a group that was the US noticed them and decided to support them because they were against the communist regime. So it has a reason for the US to intervene, but maybe it wasn't so right.
I'm sorry. I think that it started the conflict with the General Mohammad becomes the prime minister and turns to the Soviet Union for economic and military assistance because it introduces the social reforms such as abolition of poor jobs, the practice of the same-clothing woman from public view. So I think that this kind of alert USA that something was happening, and the USSR wanted to make Afghanistan communist.
But yeah, the problem is that both of these superpowers just decided to come in here and do whatever they wanted because they had their own problems. You know, the Civil War, the Cold War was going on at this moment. And what was the Cold War? This fight of ideologies between communism and capitalism. And so whenever any of the other countries felt threatened that their ideology was going to be disrupted, they decide to intervene even though it's not even their problem. I believe neither the Soviet Union or the USA should have intervened, because they are only making the problem worse and they are just disrupting more Afghanistan than it already is.
Yes, I think the same. I mean, I think they are making a bigger problem rather than resolving it.
And the worst part is that many people die, like innocent people really die because of the missiles and because of the weak bombs that the USA and the USSR sent to Afghanistan.
I believe the United States made the right decision to intervene in Afghanistan because they have their own ideology they needed to defend. And communism isn't the correct way, in my opinion. Please listen. Capitalism is everything.
It's really defended freedom and freedom of choice and expression. They wouldn't manipulate every single country they have in their hands to do whatever they want and to input the ideology that they believe is the best. Because
I mean, they invited them really violently, and they don't ask them what they want. They only arrive there and tell them what to do.
the United States whatever they want anywhere in the world, and this can be seen in many, many countries like Vietnam, Korea, and all of these countries suffered and still suffer today because the United States puts something that they believe is the best and only for their own benefit, not the benefit of anyone else.
But it's the same that which the communists is doing, because they are only thinking about their government. They are not thinking about like the people of the country or of the village of any town in the country. I mean, they are thinking like with this I'm going to help me, only me. I'm not going to be murdered about the people.
And does the United States really care about all the Afghan people that died?
No, but neither the communists.
I mean, Afghanistan asked for the USSR help. It doesn't have sense. Why any will get involved if they don't even verify it.
I mean, like, everybody gets involved in everything, you know, like, you can blame just United States, okay, but it's the fault of everyone. The war was already there, the conflicts were already there. You don't, like, just blaming the United States, but the blame is to anyone.
Yes, but if the situation was already bad, why would you just came in and make it worse?
They're trying to make that kind of view, like, they can't intervene.
Yeah, but they intervened merely because they believe their ideology is the best and to make a point. That's the thing. They just went in there, sent troops, killed your people because they wanted to make a point.
I mean, like, they have the right.
Yes, and they think, that's why they think that the ideology is the best. I know that probably is not the best, but for them it is the best. And the power is like, they are like making them can see what is really happening in the world. What the effects of what they are doing is going to cause to the people in the country, in Afghanistan in this case. For them what they are doing is good because they are blind because of the power. They can see what the consequences of this war could bring to the world.
Yes, well, that's really bad.
No, they're just looking for like excuses to say like the United States is like wrong and wrong. But if I what's wrong or right, I mean, it's war. War is not right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what they should do is try to prevent war instead of just making it worse by sending troops.
Okay, but you're making it worse like blaming the United States.
No, why?
No.
They have to blame.
No,
Not only the United States have to blame. We can get that. We get that the United States is not the only one to blame. The Soviet Union, it is to blame. The Soviet Union also has a part in this. We can see that because even if the Afghanistan actually asked for its aid, the USSR shouldn't have gone and just made things worse like it did. Because the Soviet-Afghan war lasted 9 years. Like it was 9 years. And even organizations like the United Nations, they tried to help early on, but one can see that the United Nations is also pretty biased and pretty corrupt. And the United Nations didn't do anything to solve it.
They're like as a facade because they really don't solve the problem. They just send people to tell the people in the country that they're going to be fine, that their country's going to help them, but they don't do anything.
And who's in charge of the United Nations? The United States.
no, but what about the people?
They are not trying to save people, they are trying to win the fight against communism.
This all the communist side could bring like all the countries in this time that are communist. What of them? What is happening now to them? To them?
What do you mean?
Like they are in poverty. The people is dying because they don't have food. They are like really repressed.
I mean, I'm not defending communism. I also believe communism has lots of flaws and lots of countries are suffering from it. But one has to also see how capitalism is hurting on other countries. From going back to imperialism, where Europe decided that it was their choice to go and pick Africa and take all their resources to make industries and make money out of it. Africa's still suffering today from that. It's the same thing.
Talk about a moment about the situation with the women in Afghanistan, like how they suffer.
That is that's also a huge deal because the rebellion group that the U.S. supported became the Taliban.
Yeah.
They're just like messing around with things they don't even can control, you know.
And like her, there are many women in all this country. Like they need to be free. They want to be free. It is not human for them to treat them in this manner. Like they need rights. They want them, and they can't express this because they even have like the right of expression.
I get it, but the question here is like, what is the United Nations doing for this? I mean, they're doing nothing.
The United Nations is just like an association, and I mean like it can intervene and all that stuff, but this is a big problem. I mean like the United Nations just cannot like go into like, I know, please. No.
The thing is, this is also a cultural problem because nowadays we have this stereotype that Muslims are bad and are terrorists. And the thing is, Taliban have taken the Quran, which is the Bible for the Muslims, and they've twisted everything it says to make it seem
Control people by religion.
the religion itself isn't bad. The Muslims believe in Allah, and it's a very nice religion. It's a very peaceful religion. Of course, it has its issues, but it's not as the world paints it nowadays. Because all we see is the Taliban, which again taken the word from the Quran and twisted it so it seems like a bad thing. And so they are making these rules that aren't even faithful to what the Muslim religion actually is. And so the thing is, how can you, all these women that have been born into this ideology, some of them don't even think it's bad. Some of them,
Like they are like oppressed since born, and for them it's natural. For them it's normal. And that is really bad.
They don't know they have human rights.
Yeah.
but there's also this other side because there's like more developed countries in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia and the Dubai and Oman, where women wear burqas because they want to, because they feel like it's part of their religion and it's something that feels good to them. That's the part of Islam that we don't see. What we see is the Taliban corrupting all of these beliefs and making them into something that it's not, to make it into the dictatorship that doesn't make sense, which is also even harder because how can you go against the Taliban without saying you're going against Muslim beliefs? So it's like a very complicated situation because even though we all know that we can respect Muslim beliefs, since the Taliban use Muslim beliefs as their base, it's a very hard thing to go against.
Yeah, and this issue is not only in like the Islam, it's in all the religions. Like all the religions needs this to like force people to do some things, even though they don't want, but it's to control the people. That is the point here. They want to control the people in a way like they don't see control from other points of view.
Yes. Like they don't even know they are in control.
Okay, so I think we all agree like they should do more, but I mean like it's like so sensitive.
It's a very delicate situation. But even so, the United Nations, it has been proven that the United Nations is biased, very biased, and mostly, you know, what are the main powers in the United Nations? Soviet Union, China, the United States.
Yes.
All these people, all these countries that control the economy can be done without anything that happens. So what is the fair treatment in that? Or where's the fair international aspect of that if in the end the same countries are in power?
And I really hope that we can get a solution to this problem because it's really awful like seeing how they treat people and they don't treat them like worlds that they're not animals. It's not fair.
And all the consequences all this problem is having like today, nowadays, the war is still out there and we are not doing anything to solve it.
Many countries are just putting a blind eye to it. They are just not doing anything. which is also like, how can these countries that claim to be capitalist and claim to advocate for freedom just look the other side and pretend this is not happening?
So I think that we can get it.
In conclusion, that this problem is like something that will still happen until the same country stops it, because it starts from the country and it needs to be ended by the country.
And if other countries are just intervening for their own profit, it is not doing anything to help.
But why capitalists?
No, we don't know the numbers. No.
It's not correct, in my opinion, in everyone's opinion. I don't know. You think? Right, but I mean, like, people have done that like a lot of time ago. I mean, like Hitler, look at everything.
For them, are you